Repent, repent, it is the end times, and only those with 3D printers shall go to heaven. Or something. Not so long ago, I came across this article in Vice, which talks about 3D printers and how they think all of the big games companies are going to have to change their business models to keep up with the fact that people are going to be able to print their own stuff at home. So I've popped a link to the article in the description so you can go and have a read and make your own mind up. But I felt like I had something to offer on this whole discussion that people might find useful. Now the article starts sensibly enough. It talks about the prohibitive costs of getting into Games Workshop hobby. And we all kind of know that. We're all aware that, Jesus Christ, it's plastic crack and 40k doesn't refer to the game. It refers to the amount of money that you spend on it during your lifetime. We then get an interview with a guy who made the models in the picture. We get a little bit about GW and how viciously they can defend their IP at times. And then we chat with a guy called Arian Croft. Now, he's the proprietor of a company called Ill-Gotten Games. And their business model is that they give you schematics, or you buy schematics, in zip files that you take home, put into your 3D printer, and you print the models out yourself, which is a cool alternative business model to what Games Workshop does. Then at the end, there's a little bit of a counterpoint from someone who says they're going to hold off from 3D printing for as long as possible because it's just not what they want to do. They prefer a hobby that they can do with their hands. They like to take the time in painting them, etc., etc. So far, so basic, right? Unfortunately, wrong. There's a whole load wrong with this article, and as we go through, I just want to talk about a couple of those things. Some of them are legally wrong, and some of them, they make a lot of assumptions that just aren't correct. But before I do that, I just want to talk about this orange marine who's being created on the video as we talk about these sorts of things. And kind of just the cost barrier at the moment to get into 3D printers. Now, I understand completely that it's going to get cheaper. I understand completely that resolution is going to get better. But at the moment, for this model that you see in the background, the quality or not of this Space Marine, I just want to talk about the items that he's used, that he states in his video, and again, the link is in the description, and how much this cost him to do. So let's just pause for a moment and think about this next bit. This 3D printer that he's used is £3,262 on its own. The reel of plastic he used to print it, £32.63 per reel. So later on, yeah, okay, I guess we could say that by weight, you're going to be recouping your money back. But you've got to recoup almost 3.5 grand worth of money before you even break even with these models. So if that's the quality of model we can expect from a £3,200 3D printer, then 60-70 quid for a starter box really isn't looking bad, is it, Vice? I think we can all accept 3D printing is going to get better, but is it going to get that much better that quickly? The legal side is quite muddy. I mean, counterfeit goods only apply if you're making exact copies. Now, in that image, some of them look pretty damn close. But you need to know that selling it or not selling it is not the solution. Making counterfeit goods is illegal. Don't need to sell them. You just need to make them, and that's illegal. So they have to be different in a marked way from GW's products. Now, unfortunately, Arian Croft, the guy who runs Ill-Gotten Games, starts to trip Vice up here because he goes off on a tangent about how there's a community already behind 3D printing and how this is going to be harder to stop as 3D printing becomes more mainstream. There's a massive amount of assumptions he made there. He assumes then that people are not going to be bothered as much about quality, and what they're trying to do is circumvent the price. This is just not borne out by the people that go to Games Workshop. You can say what you like about the poses and how some things seem static and we don't like certain models. Good God, but then you get models like this. You hold Archaon up against any other fantasy models. I am sorry, he blows them out of the water. We forget at our peril that people out there just buy this stuff to build it and to paint it. They're not interested in the gaming. Therefore, they're not interested in low cost of models because they don't need a certain unit size. They don't need so many of that troop so they can include that unit. They don't care. They'll buy the stuff they want and they'll lavish loads of time and attention on it. So as I parade some wargaming porn in front of your eyes to have a look at, let me just tell you a little story. When I was running at Games Workshop. On one of my games days, all my regular gamers were going to head off to Warhammer World, take part of one of the invasions we'd organised against another store. And they'd had all a laugh and a joke about how the store was going to be dead and nothing was going to be going on. That day I saw more just straight up modelers than any other day because the gamers weren't in the store. We took double what we would have done on a good games day before. And there was no release, it wasn't payday, it was mid-month back when Games Workshop were doing monthly releases. So when this chap talks about game companies being forced to use the same business structure he does, he's only talking about it from the point of view of those that want lesser quality models at a cut price. He is quite happy to ignore that there is an entire group of customers out there who will keep GW afloat. Also, there are a fair few gamers out there who want high quality models. They're not interested in cut price knockoffs. There is something immensely satisfying about using your hands to build and paint models. That, for me, is not something 3D printing is ever going to be able to replace. You know, converting, if I want to make a custom piece through 3D printing, I've got to learn 3D modeling or else cut it off something else that is 3D printed, which seems to be massively wasteful. With this, I can get bits of old models, I can cut them apart, I can stick them back together, make something completely unique to me. What do you guys think? Do you think 3D printing is the end of us buying models, or do you think that that's something that's never going to go away? Let us know in the comments. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more of our tabletop wargaming videos, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep drinking, keep gaming, stay safe.